So in the MC part, the question 25, we have the y is various directly as x squared. So we can write the y is equal to kx squared. Then we substitute the value of x and y to get 18 equal to k times 9. Then get the variation constant is equal to 2. So now we can substitute the value of 6 back to our equation. We can have the y is equal to 2 times 6 squared. Then y is equal to 72. So for question 2, the y is inversely as x squared. So we have k over square root x. Then we can have the 4 is equal to k over square root 9, give you 3. So variation constant equal to 12. Then we substitute the value of y. Then we can have 6 is equal to k, which is 12, divided by square root x. Then we have 2 equal to square root x. Then we have the x is equal to 4. Answer is B. And for question 27, Question 27, we have the y is directly as square root x. So we have y is equal to k square root x. Then we say that the x is decreased by 36%. Now we have the new x is equal to 0.64x. The new y is going to be equal to k times the square root of new x. So this is k times the 0.64x. Then this is equal to k square root x times the square root of 6.4. So the percentage change of y is equal to new y minus the old y divided by the old y. So if you can think about it, the new y is going to be got this k square root x, and the old y got this k square root x as well, and eventually it's going to be deleted. It's going to be eliminated by the denominator as well, so that if we can actually just take it out first and then we divide it, which means that you don't need to write the whole thing here because this is the multiple choice and you don't need to show any steps. So actually what we can write is just this square root 0.64 and then we minus the 1, then we can have this is negative 20%. So we have the answer should be C. And question 28, we have that v is various directly as r cubed. So if the v is equal to kr cubed, and the r, the new r is increased by 20%, so we have 1.2 r. So the new v is going to be equal to k times 1.2 cubed r cubed. Kr cubed is the common factor, so that the percentage change of y, the percentage change of v is equal to 1.2 cubed minus 1, and use a calculator, you can get this equal to 72.8%, and it's positive, so should be increased by 72.8%. And for question 29, we have that y is directly as square root x, so we have y equal to k square root x, and we have the y is decreased by 20%, so y is equal to 0.8y. Now what we're going to do here is to find out our new x. So from this equation, we can say that the x is actually equal to y over k squared, or we can write as the x is equal to y squared over k. So actually k squared is actually still a constant, so we can just write it as k. So and we have the new x is actually equal to new y squared divided by k. Then we can say that this is equal to 0.8 squared y squared over k. So you can find out the y squared over k as a common factor, so the percentage change of x is going to be equal to 0.8 squared minus 1, then give you negative 36%. So we have answer is A, is decreased by 36% because the answer is in negative. Or moving to question 30, we have that the y is inversely as x, so we have y equal to k over x. Then the new x is increased by 25%, so we have 1.25x. Then we have the new y is equal to k over 1.25x. And bear in mind that the k over x is the common factor, so you don't need to write it, but please be careful, there's still a 1 on your numerator. So the percentage change of y is equal to 1 over 1.25 minus 1. Then this one will give you negative 20%. So it's decreased by 20%. And now we have the y is various inversely as x cubed. So we have y is equal to k over x cubed. and the x is decreased by 50%, so the new x is equal to 0.5x. Then we have the new y is equal to k over 0.5 squared x squared. So bear in mind the k over x squared is our common factor, we don't want it. So the percentage change of y is equal to 1 over 0.5 squared minus 1. 1 divided by 0.5 squared minus 1 give you 3. So 3 is not 3%, it's 300%. So it's increased by 300%. So question 32, we have that y is varies inversely as x cubed. So we have y is equal to k over x cubed. And now we have the y is increased. So y is equal to 1.728 old y. Then we need to find out the x cubed y is equal to k. So that's the x is equal to k over y. And taking the cubic root. So we have the new x is actually equal to the cubic root of k divided by the new y, which is 1.728y. Then you can think about it. The square root k over y is actually the common factor. So what we want is just something left. The percentage change of x is actually equal to the cubic root of 1 over 1.728 minus 1. Then this one will give you, then we can have this is negative 16.7%. But if you change it to fraction, it's actually equal to negative 50 over 3%. Then answer should be B. So for question 33, we have the joint variation. They said the z is directly as x and inversely as y. So we have the z is equal to kx over y. Then we can substitute in, we can have this condition. We have the z is equal to 18, and we have the value of x is equal to 9, and the value of y is equal to 3, so that the variation constant is going to be equal to 6. Then the question is asking what's the value of x when the y value is equal to 2 and z is equal to 12. We just substitute back in our equation to get the, what we want is the value of x. So the z is 12, the k is 6, the x is something that we want, the y is 2, so that the x is going to be equal to 4. So the answer is B. So for question 34, we have, again, the joint variation. We have r is equal to kp squared divided by q, because p squared is directly proportional to and is inversely proportional to q. Then we substitute the whole thing into our equation. We have 36 as the r. We keep the k. P is 3, so 3 squared divided by q, which is 2. So we have the variation constant give you 36 times 2 divided by 9. We have k is equal to 8. Then we want to find out what's the value of q. So we substitute the value of r is 24, and the k value is 8, and the p value is 6, so 6 squared. Then we divide by q. So you can find out the q value is actually equal to 8 times 6 squared divided by 24 give you 12. So the answer should be D. So question 35, we have that the w is varies directly as u cubed, so ku cubed, and inversely as square root v. And still a jointly variation, which is substitute all the things to find out our variation constant. We have 8 is equal to k times u cubed, which is 2 squared, 2 cubed time over the square root of 9. So the variation constant is actually equal to 8 is eliminated, we got this 3. So the k is equal to 3. So that what we want is to find the value of v. So w is equal to 48. The k is actually 3. The u is 4. We take the cubed and we divide by square root v. So the square root v is equal to 3 times 4 cubed divided by 48. Then we have the v is equal to 3 times 4 cubed divided by 48 and squared it, which gives you 16. So the value should be C. And now we can move to the partly variation. We have the y is partly varies as x squared, so k1 x squared plus k2 over x. So first of all, we have k1, we have x equal to 1, y equal to negative 9. So we have negative 9 equal to k1 plus k2. That's our first equation. And the second equation is going to be y equal to 23. So 23 equal to x squared, so 9k1. And then we have k2 over 3. k2 over 3. So how can we do this? We can actually times the second equation by 3. Then we can have 69 equal to 27k1 plus k2. Then we can using this equation to minus the first equation. We can do the minus, then we can have 69 minus the negative 9 give you 78. 27 minus 1 will give you 26 k1, and the k2 is actually eliminated. So we have 78 divided by 26. Then we have the k1 is actually equal to 3. Then we substitute back to the formula 1 to get the k2 is actually equal to negative 3 minus the 7 give you negative 12. So we have this formula. We can substitute this k2 and k1 back to our original formula to get the y is equal to 3x squared plus minus 12 over x. Then we substitute the value of negative 3 to get the value of y is equal to 3 times negative 3 squared minus 12 over negative 3. Then this is 3 times 9 gives you 27, and then you plus 4. Then the answer should be 31. And then for question 37, it's actually a similar thing. We have the r is equal to partly as p, so k1p plus k2q squared. So you have the condition, you put it in. And we have pqr, so p is equal to 8, q is equal to 1. So we have 8k1 plus k2 because q is equal to 1. So we have the r is equal to 22. That's our first equation. And we have p is equal to 7. So we have 7k1 plus q is equal to 2. So q squared, we have 4k2. And then it's equal to 13. So to make the k2 to be eliminated, we need to times the whole equation by 4. Then what we can have is actually equal to 88 is equal to 32k1 plus 4k2. So that's our first equation. This is our second equation. Then we can, using our first equation minus the second equation, we can get 88 minus 13 give you 75 is equal to 32 minus 7 give you 25k1. So which means that the k1 is equal to 3. Then we substitute back into our this equation. Then we can say that's the 21 equal to 8 times 3 plus k2. So the k2 is actually equal to 3 times 8 is 24. So 22 minus 24 gives you negative 2. So now we have the value of k2 and the value of k1. So we substitute back into our initial formula. The r is equal to k1, which is 3p, and then we minus 2q squared. Now we have the p is equal to 4 and q is equal to 5. So that r is equal to 3 times 4 minus 2 times 5 squared. Use your calculator, minus 2 times 5 squared. Then the answer is A, negative 38. So actually, in this kind of multiple choice, you don't need to write all of your steps very neatly. You can just do a rough work, do it quick. That is actually the main thing. So for each question, actually take you around 40 seconds to 1 minute to finish it. It's all right. So for next part, we have f of x is partly constant and partly various inversely f to the square root x. So we have f of x is equal to k1 plus k2 divided by square root x. Then we have these two conditions. So we have 13 is equal to k1 plus k2 divided by 3. And the second formula is going to be 8 is equal to k1 plus k2 divided by 4. So first one minus the second one. Using the first one minus the second one, you can get on the left hand side we have 5. k1 is eliminated, so we have a third minus a fourth. Then we have 1 over 12 k2, so that the k2 is equal to 60. Then we substitute back into k1. We have 13 equal to k1 plus 60 over 3. So that's the k1 is equal to negative 7. So basically it just means that the f of x is equal to negative 7 plus 60 over square root x. Then what we want is substitute x equal to 25. So f of 25 is equal to negative 7 plus 60 over 5. So negative 7 plus 12, the answer would be 5. So it's answer C. So question 39, we have the f of x is directly as x. F of x is equal to k1x plus k2x cubed. Then we have f of 2 equal to 8. So we have 8 equal to 2k1 plus 8k2. And we have f of 3. So this one we have negative 33 is equal to 3k1 plus 9k2. So for this one, we can simplify it by taking out the common factor. We have 4 equal to k1 plus 4k2. And we have negative 11 equal to k1 plus 3k2. And we minus them, we have 4 minus 11 give you 15. Is equal to k1 is eliminated, so we have the k2 value. Then we substitute back into our equation here. We have 4 is equal to k1 plus 4 times k2, which is 15. So that the k1 is actually equal to 4 minus 60, give you negative 56. So now we can say that our f of x, so that the f of x is equal to k1, which is negative 56x, then plus k2, so plus 15x cubed. Then what we want is f of negative 1, so it's equal to 56 minus 15, which one will give you 41. Question 40, we have the z is varies directly as x and directly as y squared. It's not partly variation, it's jointly variation. So we can have the z is equal to kxy squared. It's both directly. And we have the x is increased by 75, y is decreased by 60. So we have the new x is equal to 1.75x. The new y is equal to 0.4y. So that the new z is equal to k times new x times new y squared. Then we have k times x times y times 1.7 times 0.4 squared. So please bear in mind kxy squared, they are the common factor. So what we want is the percentage change of z is actually equal to 1.75 times 0.4 squared minus 1. 1.75 times 0.4 squared minus 1 give you negative 72%. So the answer should be D, decreased by 72 because it's a negative. So we have the z is directly proportional to square root of x. So we have k square root of x and inversely as y. And both of x and z are decreased by 36. What we want is y. So first of all, make y to become the subjects. Then we have k square root x divided by z. Then now we have the x is decreased by 36%. So new x is equal to 0.36. Old x, sorry, is decreased by 36. So it should be 0.64x. And the z is decreased by 36% as well. So the new z is equal to 0.64z. So the new y is basically equal to k times the square root 0.64 times the square root x divided by 0.64z. Bear in mind that the k, square root x, and z are the common factor. So what we want is the percentage change of y is equal to the square root of 0.64 divided by 0.64 minus 1. So answer is equal to 25%, increased by 25%. So for question 42, we have the r is varies directly as p, inversely as q squared. Again, this is n, so need to be bear in mind this is not a partly variation. We have the r is equal to kp divided by q squared. So new q and r is changed. What we want to find out the percentage change of p. So first of all, make p to become the subject. We have p is equal to rq squared divided by k. So now we have the q, the new q is equal to 1.25q. and then the R is decreased by 52%, so it's equal to 0.48 R. Then we can find our new P is equal to the new R, 0.48 R, times the new Q, which is 1.25 squared, times Q squared divided by K. And bear in mind again, we have RQ squared K, RQ squared K as our common factor. So the percentage change of P is the rest, is 0.48 times 1.25 squared minus 1. Give you the answer of negative 25%. So the answer should be C, decreased by 25%. Okay, last two questions. So for question 43, so we have question 43 here. We have x varies directly as y. So we have x is equal to ky, but it's and, so it's jointly variation. And we have a cube of z. So we have x is equal to ky divided by the cube of z. So z cubed. So which of the following must be a constant? So first of all, we can change the k to become the subject. So we have the k is equal to xz cubed divided by y. So this term must be the constant, but is anything exactly the same as xz cubed over y? Actually can't see anything about it, but actually we have seen something. We have the 1 over k is equal to, we reverse the numerator and denominator to get y over xz cubed. You can see d is y over xz cubed. So 1 over k is still a constant, as k is constant, isn't it? It doesn't change anything. So the y over xz cubed is actually a constant as well. So for question 44, we have the a is varies inversely as square root b and directly as c squared. So we have the a is equal to kc squared divided by the square root b. Again, make k to become the subject. We have a square root b divided by c squared. So can you see something like this? I don't think so, isn't it? A square root b over c squared. Nope. But do you see c squared over a square root b? I think still not yet. But if we take about the k squared, if k is a constant, k squared is also constant. So k squared is equal to a squared b divided by c to the power 4. Still not an answer, but if we consider 1 over k squared, we revert it to become c over 4 over by a squared b. It's actually exactly the same as the question A. So that's for the multiple choice. So I show a way that I do the multiple choice. Actually, it's my first time to do this multiple choice. So maybe it's a little bit messy here, and maybe you can find out some step is really jumped. So if you not really understand one of the questions, so just direct me, give me a message, and I will explain it in detail again. So you can barely see that I use the whole steps when I'm doing the multiple choice, even that I'm recording the videos. But however, doing the multiple choice means that you need to make a competition with the time. So a lot of the step, if you can jump it, then definitely to jump it. But however, in the long question types, you must to write every single steps. Okay, so that's for the multiple choice.